Hey everybody, Dockside Gamer here and welcome back to the channel. Now, I asked my friends why a Dark Souls game might seem to drive them away and not want to play it all the way through. A lot of people had the same answers, so today I want to go over these things. Okay, with that being said, let's get into it. So as soon as you start up a new game, you have to make your character. It's the same thing every other time. Make your character's name, choose male or female, and then it's time for classes. Dark Souls has a bunch of starting classes. Now, just because you start as a certain class doesn't mean you have to stick with that class. All that means is that this is your starting gear, starting level, and starting stats. As soon as you actually get into the game, you can build your character however you want. That's what I love about this game. Now, if you want, in my opinion, one of the better classes to start as, I would choose the Pyromancer. You start at level 1, and you start off with a Pyromancy Fireball, which is pretty good for early game. Now, being level 1 means that you can put in the most amount of stats throughout the game. It means that you can have the most customization that you want, so it's really good to start as. For starting gift, there's plenty of options. However, Master Key seems to be the best option to take. It lets you sequence break the game, and it lets you get some access to some really good items at the start of the game if you know where to go. However, if you are playing this for the first time, I highly recommend that you don't pick it. You don't want to accidentally sequence break the game and get lost. If you know the game, pick it. If you don't, maybe pick something else. But don't pick the pendant. It does nothing. Absolutely nothing. It has no secret use. It has nothing to do with this game, so don't pick it. Okay, so when you start into the game, you'll eventually find your way to this bonfire and this big set of double doors. You want to go through the double doors, and you'll come across your first boss. Now, you'll be thinking, oh, I really have to fight this boss, but that is not the case. You can try with your little broken weapon, but don't. There's a little gate off to the side here that you can just run right through. It closes behind you, so he won't follow you or attack you, and then you just keep going. That is the ideal design of this game, just to run right by the first boss. You'll get back to him eventually. Okay, time to pick up your starting gear. Now, this is a good time to explain stamina. So, if you're in the middle of a fight and you have your shield up and you're trying to regenerate stamina, it will regenerate slowly. So be very, very mindful of that. If you are trying to regenerate your stamina, drop your shield. Now it's time to get the most important item, the Estus Flask. You let the boulder roll through this hidden wall, and you find Oscar. You talk to him, you answer yes or no, I don't think it really matters. He will give you a key and a Estus Flask. Very, very useful item is the Estus Flask. It is your key healing item throughout the entire game. Next is your Pyromancy Flame. You pick it up, you can equip it, and then you can finally start casting your fireball. You only get 8 casts before you sit at a bonfire, so just be wary of that. Okay, now that you have your gear, time to fight the boss again. Now, this boss isn't meant to be hard. You get a huge chunk of damage right at the start if you drop attack him, and then you can use your newly acquired weapons to fight him. Pyromancies have a little bit easier time because they have Fireball, which can keep them out of range and do some heavy damage. So this boss is literally just to learn your character, learn how to move, and then just move on. So take the time, learn your character, beat the boss, off you go. Now, one of the biggest complaints I've heard from people about playing Dark Souls is not knowing where to go. So when you spawn into Firelink Shrine, you generally have 3 options, but the best option to go is this way. It's only the best option just because that is the actual way to go for your level. Every other way, you need to be leveled up a little bit more. Plus, this area is great for practicing your parrying. These enemies' attacks are super telegraphed, so you can really get your timing down for parrying. It's very helpful through the game. This is also a great time to talk about the overkill bonus. It allows you to get extra souls if you basically overkill an enemy. Early in the game, you'll do that plenty. It's just dealing more damage than your enemy has health. So before I left from Firelink, I decided to use up 2 humanities. This is super helpful to do. 1, it raises your item discovery, and 2, you can use it to reverse your hollowing and turn human, which also allows you to kindle a bonfire. Kindling a bonfire allows you to have more Estus flasks when you rest at that bonfire. Generally, you only get 5 if you haven't, but now you can get 10 with an item you can get later on to increase that even further. I'll also touch on leveling here. Now in this game, there are hard and soft caps with each stat. I'll leave this up, you can pause so you can read through it, but basically you can level up a stat to a certain point, most of it's like 30 or 40, to get the maximum bonus from each stat. Now, if you level it up even further, then you hit the hard cap, which is usually 50 or 60. That means that you don't get nearly as much of a bonus from those stats anymore. So generally, you want to keep all your stats between 30 and 50. That's when you've gotten the most out of those stats that you can. Normally, you'll hit that through the game anyway, but it's just a good thing to keep an eye on. You don't want to be wasting points. So on your way to the next boss, you'll want to open up this door. I used the master key, but you can buy the key from a merchant earlier in the area to open it. It's called the residence key. Past this door is a super helpful item in the gold pine resin. It just boosts your attack using lightning damage. On to the boss. So when you first go into the boss room, you go up this ladder here, and there's 2 crossbow hollows at the top that you're gonna want to kill. They will constantly be firing at you if you don't take them out during this boss fight. So you go through, take them out, climb back down the ladder, and then you will be able to activate the boss fight. So this boss fight, the Taurus Demon, he's kind of another tutorial, as in he doesn't have a whole lot of health, his attacks are pretty well telegraphed, and you have a spot to do a drop attack on him, kinda like the Asylum Demon before. When you take him out, then you can move on with the rest of the area. Like I said, he's not that hard, so you shouldn't have too much trouble with him, to be honest. After you beat this boss, you have access to one of the most popular NPCs there is, Solaire. So he gives you the white soapstone, and that will allow you to play multiplayer. It's a very useful item to have, especially if you have other friends that want to play with you. This is the time where you can be summoned into each other's worlds. So as you can see while I was talking about Solaire, there's a dragon that will set fire to the bridge. Come back to this corner, let him run through, you'll see the fire go by. As soon as it's clear, you can make your way back across the bridge, and there will be a little ramp that you can walk down, and that is a shortcut to a bonfire you've already been to. Shortcuts are huge for this game. They really make getting around the area a lot easier. I highly recommend you get any and all shortcuts that you can throughout this game. Now when you head back up, you'll realize that the dragon is kind of lurching over you. You want to wait in this corner, let him breathe his fire, and eventually he will drop down, allowing you to kind of run right past him into this little gatehouse and light this bonfire. Also, really good thing to have. This bonfire is pretty useful to have overall. Having this area unlocks the ability to join the Sunlight Covenant eventually. I won't go into too much detail about it because that's not really the scope of the video, but just know that you can join the Covenant here when you're actually able to. It requires 25 faith. Okay, moving on. Now that you've gotten that bonfire, you can run up the stairs and kind of take this little side path and jump off this bridge and get through this gate. The gate will shut if you take too long to do it, which isn't a big deal because there is a path underneath to take. But if you kind of want to get to the blacksmith, which I'll get to in a second, this is what you want. This is the path you want to take. Okay, the blacksmith. So if you look there, you'll see a pathway that you want to take. Taking that pathway, you'll eventually light a bonfire, and down below is a blacksmith. Blacksmith Andre. So he is extremely useful to be at. He can upgrade all your weapons, especially right at the start. you can go in and buy all the Titanite shards you need to get your weapon up to +5. If you don't have enough souls, just go back up, respawn everything from the bonfire, and just kill things until you get enough Titanite shards. I highly recommend that you do this. But that's all I got for today, guys. I really hope you learned something. If you like these kind of videos, be sure to like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you want me to go over anything else. Alright, have a great day, guys. Bye. So I had a lot of fun making this video. I thought that having like a basic idea of how to start your game and maybe the correct way to get through at least the first couple parts of the game anyways would be extremely helpful to people that maybe are a little intimidated by the Souls games. Overall, they're not extremely hard. They're just a little confusing if you don't know where to go and you don't really know stats or any weapons to use. I really love these games. I cannot stress that enough. These games are probably some of my favorite to play. I can go back and play these numerous times, different builds all the time. I had so much fun doing this. If you guys really want to see more of these kinds of videos, I am so open to doing them. Just be sure to like and subscribe, drop any comments on anything you want me to go over. I will make a video on anything that has to do with Dark Souls. If you want to know how to beat a certain boss, I'll go through, I will beat it how I beat it, and if you find that way works for you, so be it. But I really appreciate you guys, especially watching up to this point. I know it's been a little bit longer than my normal videos, but I really appreciate it. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.